Most of Paul's letters were to address a local problem or crisis. These documents contained both doctrine and application, in essence, theory and practice. Romans 1 through 11 serves as a doctrinal summary for Christians. Paul knew, however, that theory without lifestyle application is not godly. Paul teaches about salvation by the grace of God through faith in Jesus Christ, but this free gift is meant to radically change our lives. Salvation is free, but it must be followed by a radical Christ-likeness. Verses 1 and 2 of chapter 12 introduces us to that practical approach to our Christian faith. Paul no longer writes in doctrinal terms, but about how we can use that doctrine as a basis for a spirit-led life. Paul, with words that are both tender and tough, urges believers, saying, because God's grace and mercy are offered freely, Christians must live godly lives out of gratitude, not seeking to merit God's gifts, which you can never do, but out of sheer thanks. He points out that Christ gave himself to do God's will, to save sinners that rejected him, including death on the cross. That is a radical love. His followers must be so grateful that we will emulate his selfless life. Paul calls on all Christians to commit ourselves, our entire being, to God, as we have already committed ourselves previously to sin. A living sacrifice, holy, means that we must set ourselves apart for God's service, giving not merely money to church or last season's coat to the poor or even that old car to help the hungry, but also giving God that which you cannot yourself restore, your most precious gift, time. Time to learn about God, time to love and help others in the name of God, time to teach a world about God's grace. Paul writes about a radical love that calls on us to be in the world, but not of the world. A love that exhorts believers to walk a different path, not strutting with false pride, I got my religion and you got yours to get kind of thing, but Christ-like, inviting the lost to join in our Christian journey. At a time when radicalism, both near and far, beckons us to fight, fear, and separate from other people, Paul tells us to do the opposite. Love like Jesus in a selfless way. Christians should love one another as brothers and lost people as potential brothers. Christianity is a family. Each member lives and serves for the health and growth of the whole. Now, many people learn best from a point of reference or familiarity. So Paul references here the Mosaic law, saying, if you love your neighbor, you will obey those laws that address how we relate to each other. For example, he says, adultery shows a lack of respect and love for the spouse of the adulterer. Radical love solves it. Murder shows a lack of respect for human life given by God and a lack of love for the victim and family. Solution: radical love. Stealing shows a lack of respect for others' property and a lack of love for the victim. Solution: a radical love. Lying on another shows a lack of respect for the truth and for another human being's feelings and for the victim of that lie. Solution: a radical love. Wanting that which belongs to someone else shows a lack of respect for the other and a lack of respect for the victims. Again, solution: a radical love. Paul is saying to us that love is the answer to our sinful ways.
I started an organization that builds homes for people in need.
Now, we can sit smugly thinking that because we don't really hate anybody, then we must love all people, and we're okay with this commandment, with this lesson. But wait, as I read this lesson about love, I thought about a question that I heard and later asked my class. I ask you that same question today. If The day before you were born, God came to you and said, I'm not going to tell you who your parents will be. You will not know whether you're going to be born black or white, Latino, Asian, or what race you will be. You will not know if you're going to be born male or female. You aren't going to know whether you're going to be born in America, Europe, Asia, Africa, South America, or some island. You won't know whether you're going to be born wealthy. You won't know whether you're going to be born with a strong mind or developmentally disabled, or whether you will have a disability or not, or whether you will have health issues or not. But today, I'm going to give you a chance to change the world in any way you want to before you're born into this world. Would you leave the world the same as it is now? If your response to that question is no, given all of that not knowing, I'm not going to leave the world the same as it is now, that means you know that some of your brothers and sisters, some of the people that you say you love, are born into an unfair situation. If we truly love like Jesus, if love works no ill, and if we have the radical, selfless love that Jesus displayed when he took the cross for our sins, we would know that God's love is not merely words, it is deeds and truth, and that we would be up seeking to change the world to show our gratitude for all the blessings God has given to us. That's the lesson for this week. You have a great week, and go see the Red Cross page. See if you have some money or time you need to give. Bye.
My living shall not be